Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiberflux. In this video, I will show you how to crochet summer sparkle earrings. This is a cute and fast little project you can make with just some simple materials. And for this project, I used some crochet thread. This particular crochet thread is called Aunt Lydia's crochet thread. It's the Classic 10. And this colorful colorway that I'm using here is called the Pastels Variegated, in case you're looking for the same thing. You'll also need a 2.25 millimeter bee crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and I used a smaller needle than I normally use for my crochet projects because the thread and the beads are tiny. This is a cross stitch needle. You can find it in the cross stitch section of your craft store. This is a DMC brand size 24 in case you're looking for the same thing. But I find that it's easy to thread this thinner thread in the eye of the needle and also to get the beads through. So you'll need one of these and also one of these French hooks. You can find these in multi-packs at the craft store also. And you'll also need some beads. I used just some clear glass beads because I chose a colorful crochet thread. I wanted to stick with something more neutral. But you can go as colorful as you want. If you're using a solid colored thread, you can do a pattern of different colors or whatever you like. So this is this earring is worked in 2 rounds. And the first round is double crochet stitches. The second edging incorporates beads. So I'm going to show you how to do both of those. So let's get started. This particular earring that I made has 10 beads around the edge. So what I like to do is you want to string, obviously you want to string 10 beads, but I like to always do a little bit of extra just in case. And you'll also be stringing your earring, the French hook, onto that. So what we're going to do is we're going to string 2 of the glass beads, then our earring, then the rest of the beads. Okay? So let's get 2 beads on there. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to put our, you'll see it has a loop at the end. We're just going to be stringing that on just like it was a bead. Okay, then we can just put the rest of the beads onto our thread. And before you start, just make sure that your needle can fit on here and that everything slides easily onto the thread with the needle. Sometimes when I work with beads, you may have to select a different bead. Some of the beads out there on the market have very, very tiny holes in them. So what you want to do is just get all these beads on there. And I just put a few extra just in case. You never know because you'll drop them like I just did, or maybe you'll lose one, or maybe you miscounted. So I like to just get a few extra on there. So once you get all your beads on there, you just want to push them back a little ways. And then you can remove your needle and then we're ready to crochet. Sometimes when you string beads, your thread can become a little bit unraveled. So just give it a fresh cut before you begin. Sometimes getting it through a small eye of a needle can kind of make those plies come apart a little bit. So what you want to do is put a slip knot on your hook to begin. To make a slip knot, wrap the thread around your fingers to make a loop. Bring the thread behind that loop, reach in with your crochet hook, bring up the loop and tighten. We're going to chain 8 to begin. We're going to be working in the round. So we're going to chain 8. To make a chain, wrap the thread around your hook and bring it through. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then in the chain farthest from your hook, you're going to insert the hook. And then we're going to be joining with a slip stitch to close the round. So bring that loop through the loop already on your hook Now we have the ring that we'll be working all of our stitches into. And I wanted to mention, when you're working with a tiny hook and some thread, just be sure to take your time. It can get a little bit kind of fiddly when you're working with it. So we're going to work the first round, and we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now this counts as our first double crochet. So we're next going to work 23 double crochets into the center of the ring. That will give us a total of 24 wheel spokes, if you will, around our circle. Okay. So I also wanted to mention this tail here from where we began. I'm going to hold that along the edge as I work. That will weave that tail in as we go along. So to make a double crochet, wrap yarn around hook, insert it into the center of the ring, bring up a loop. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the first 2 loops. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through the next 2 loops. So you have the double crochet. So we're going to do this for a total of 23 times. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and I am going to actually continue and we'll rejoin towards the end. So I'm just working that last double crochet into the center of the ring. So I did that 23 times plus our chain 3 at the beginning. So that equals 24. Next, I'm going to join at the beginning where I began with a slip stitch to close the round. Okay, so round 1 is complete, and then you can take this tail at this point and just give it a little tug. It's not going to completely close the hole. I wanted to have it a little bit open because it kind of makes it look more like a hoop earring. But you want to give it a little tug just to neaten things up a bit, and then you can go ahead and we'll get our working yarn out of the way, but you can go ahead and take your scissors and just trim that tail so it's out of the way. Just be careful not to trim the yarn you're still working on. Okay, so let's begin round 2. Round 2 will be our little beaded edge round. So what we're going to do is, in the first stitch that you come to, we're going to work a single crochet, then we're going to chain 1. Then we're going to take one of our beads that we have back, that we've pushed back here. We're going to slide a bead over like that and work another chain. Then in the same stitch, we're going to work another single crochet. And I haven't showed you that, but insert your hook into the stitch, bring up a loop, wrap yarn around hook, bring it through both loops. That's the single crochet. So we've now, I'll get my hook out of the way, but we've now incorporated our little bead on here. Okay, so in the next stitch, you're just going to work 1 single crochet. Then in the next stitch, work a single crochet, chain 1. We're going to slide a bead over to our work. Get it right up against your crochet hook, chain 1, and then in that same stitch, work another single crochet. So we've now incorporated 2 beads into our earring. So we're just going to go in the same sequence. So in the next stitch, work a single crochet. Then in the next stitch, we'll do the bead. So work a single crochet, chain 1, then we'll slide a bead over. Get it up against your hook, get everything nice and tight, and then work another chain, and then in that same stitch, work another single crochet. Just like that. Okay, we now have 3 beads. The next stitch, work a single crochet. The next stitch will incorporate a bead. So single crochet, chain one, slide a bead over, chain one, single crochet, all in the same stitch. So single crochet, chain one, slide that bead over, up against your hook, make sure everything's not loose and loopy, make sure everything's nice and tight, not too tight, but just tight enough to get everything nice and neat. Work another chain, incorporating that bead, and then work a single crochet in that same stitch. Okay, next stitch, single crochet, next stitch, single crochet, chain one, slide the bead over. Okay, get it up against your hook, chain one, oops, let's try that again. There we go, chain one. This bead's a little bigger. Sometimes when you buy beads, the shapes of them can be a little bit irregular. I'm just working another single crochet, but that's okay. It kind of adds to the earring. See how some of these, like this one is a little smaller, but that's the nature of beads somewhat. Okay, so in the next stitch, just work a single crochet, next stitch, single crochet, chain one, slide a bead over, chain one. See, I'm holding that bead with my thumb to keep it nice and neat. Then work a single crochet right in that same stitch. Okay, so we're a little more than halfway through, so I'm going to keep continuing adding my beads around, and we'll rejoin towards the end of the round and I'll show you how to close the round. So just keep working in that sequence, single crochet, then work a single crochet, chain one, add a bead, chain one, single crochet, all in the same stitch. So just keep doing that all the way around. So I've arrived at the spot where we're going to put our earring hook, and I just wanted to show you that. It's done the same exact way as when you're incorporating a bead, but I just wanted to show you. Sometimes it gets a little tangled with that hook sticking out. So what we're going to do is just work it the same way we work the bead. So in that stitch, just work a single crochet, chain one, just like we're working a bead, then slide the earring hook over so that it's up against the crochet hook, and then go ahead and chain one, and then work a single crochet in the same space. Just like that. Okay. So now our hook has been incorporated. So it's officially an earring now. Okay, so you're just going to continue around and finish your beadwork, and we'll join at the end of this round. Okay, so I've incorporated all of our beads, and then we're just going to insert the hook where we began and join this round with a slip stitch to close the round, just like that. So once you're finished and you've fastened off, you can take your scissors and just trim, and then you can just fasten off that tail. So we already trimmed our tail earlier from the center, so we just have one tail left. So that's what our earring looks like. And sometimes the beads can shift around a little. You can go ahead and straighten those out. So just take the same needle that you used before to string your beads, and you can go ahead and thread that onto your needle, that last tail. It's very tiny, so you have to just kind of work it in there the best you can. Okay, now flip your earring over to the back, and then just take your needle and just come in one direction. And this is really small, so just try and be as neat as possible working this in. Okay, and then you can just come in the other direction just to keep that end in place. Just like that, okay? Then you can take your needle off, trim that little tail, and your earring is complete. So just get everything nice and straightened out. So now you have 2 earrings, you have a matching set, and these make great little gifts if you need a little last minute gift, or you can make a couple pair in different thread colors. This one is kind of a rainbowy one. You could do something more neutral. So that's it. That's how you crochet the summer sparkle earrings. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks again.